All right, guys, we are right on time. Welcome back to the GESC Thailand NA qualifiers. We've got OpTic going up against VGJ.Storm. Can the green wall hold the Storm back? I don't know, because VGJ.Storm looking incredibly powerful over the past couple of games I've seen them. OpTic looking pretty darn good as well, honestly. So this should be a very, very even matchup. If this doesn't go for 2-1, or if this doesn't have a 2-0 with very, very close games twice, I'm going to be very surprised. I'm Mike Lewis, going to be your caster for this game, and we already have a little bit of respect. We have a little bit of respect. Sneaking Night Stalker going to be taken out. Did play that one yesterday to a huge degree of success. And, you know, you have a lot of these respect bans from VGJ.Storm as well, the Beastmaster, the ET, generally powerful heroes, but we're going to have a Sand King in response to this Dark Willow, I promise you that. VGJ.Storm will grab said Dark Willow. Honestly, you know, if you're in Dota right now, if you are with a chance of picking up a Dark Willow, there's a very, very low amount of reasons why you shouldn't pick up this hero. She's pretty damn nuts. MSS was playing Dark Willow yesterday, and I assume he's going to be playing it today. But there's always that chance with a hero like Dark Willow that you decide, you know what? Support Dark Willow isn't going to be what we're doing. We're going to pick up a different support, and we're going to run this Dark Willow in a core. There's always a possibility of that. And there's some degree of flexibility coming out from this hero as well, coming out from OpTic in the Sand King. 4-position Sand King, very common. Throw him into the hands of an offlaner. You could do that as well. But this seems to be what OpTic like most of all for 33. I feel like it's 90% of the time, at least, going to be the 33 Sand King, and damn, he's killer on it. And if it's not, like, Zai plays a really good Sand King as well, if they really want to go down that route. But it just seems like these first three picks, at least nowadays, are just going to be kind of the same thing. Just pick up your two support heroes, and generally you just want to get a semi-aggressive 4-position, i.e. Sand King, i.e. Elder Titan, along with a little bit of a babysitter, i.e. Ancient Apparition, currently banned out, Dark Willow, I could say would fit that as well. Witch Doctor, probably another one of those big ones. Bane, those type of heroes. Ooh, but this is something a little bit different coming out from OpTic. We've seen a couple teams experiment. Maybe not experiment. Maybe that's not the right word. A couple of teams grab the Death Prophet a little bit earlier. And for sure, this is something that OpTic kind of are comfortable with. CCNC's Death Prophet, definitely a hero that it's very easy for OpTic to leave CCNC kind of on an island with this hero. That's typically consistent with their playstyle. No matter who CCNC plays, he usually doesn't get that much help. So if you give him a really self-sufficient, really powerful laner in the form of a Death Prophet, then you've got yourself a situation that works out pretty well with the gameplay style that OpTic really favor. This is going to be a pretty clear lane, though, for VGJ.Storm, so they may think that, maybe we can abuse this Death Prophet, maybe we can gang up on CCNC a little bit. Dark Willow, for sure, is a really good start at that. Just setting up with the Cursed Crown and the Bramble Maze. Keep the Death Prophet away from siphonable targets. Makes killing her off all the more simple. But, yeah, I would expect for OpTic to just grab their secondary support as the third pick. Notable heroes still in the pool. We still got the Razor, still have that Omni Knight. Chen is, I guess, possible for VGJ.Storm. Although, actually, it seems like that's a little bit more plausible from the OpTic side. A little bit surprised that Chen is actually still in the pool. I would think that OpTic would just not hesitate at all to pick that one up. But Storm are taking their sweet time on the second pick. What are the serious considerations here? I guess the serious consideration is, wait, they picked up a Death Prophet very early on. What do we do about this? And there are just general 4-position pressure heroes you could pick up, or there's Visage you could also pick up. It's a kind of a hard hero to peg as far as what he contributes as a whole. But together with the Dark Willow, you do have, again, a lot of flexibility from VGJ.Storm's opener. Just earlier today, different tournament, we saw a support Visage. It's definitely a rarity, and usually like 90% of the time nowadays, Visage is going to be going towards the mid lane. So I would expect that from Storm. But again, if you feel like that's not going to match up for whatever reason, then you could always throw him in a support role. And with a Dark Willow, that slow and amount of crowd control, that'll definitely add up. Of course, the cost is you're going to take a lot longer to get to that level 6 mark, and really that's the big level for Visage. Level 6 and 7, when you have a little bit of those points in the Grave Chill with those familiars overhead, you can pretty much 1v1 anybody. So it's a really, really powerful hero to play in the core role for that reason. You get him to that level 6 all the more quickly. For Storm, though, this Visage, again, you know that the Death Prophet is going to go towards that mid lane. You know that the matchup is probably going to stay as a vacuum. Might as well pick up a hero that is self-sufficient in his own right. It's pretty much impossible for Death Prophet to siphon run down a Visage. Like, you could land the siphon, you can try to chase after him, but he'll immediately Grave Chill you, and then their movement speed is like 0, and his is like 400 something, and he'll just speed away. It's not really a feasible way to kill off the Visage unless you also have that Sand King rotating in. And even then, Sand King is not that great versus Visage because of the cloak. Again, notable hero still in the pool is going to be that Chen. Omni Knight Razor, something that either side at this point can pick up and be pretty happy with. Right now, though, SVG, his Witch Doctor, is going to be taken out. Dark Willow usually played as that 4, although we could definitely see a little bit of shuffling as to the farm priority of this hero. I'll take down the Luna as well. Visage Luna, definitely a real threat. I don't know, SVG can probably just pick up like a Rubik or really anything like that. Bane is perfectly fine here. You're very rarely going to pick up a Bane and regret it. As far as other 5 positions are concerned, like a couple of teams playing with Lion, but these are pretty much all the big ones. You see kind of banned out from OpTic. The pool of really, really great 5-position heroes isn't really that deep. There's only a couple of them, which is kind of a shame. But they will take out that Chen. Okay, if OpTic were able to get PPD Chen with CCNC Death Prophet, then I don't know, man. Like, Visage and Dark Willow aren't terrible at dealing with that. They're not great, but they're kind of like 60% at that. I don't know. That still would have been a really, really easy strat for OpTic to run. It kind of just plays itself. You just get the Chen creeps, get the Death Prophet ultimate, and then just go push things down. And Dark Willow, Bramble Maze is great at stalling that. So is the Visage, but they're not really great at stopping that. So we'll see what OpTic want to do as far as this push is concerned. If they really want to go for some serious push, they haven't really had many chances in the past couple of games we've seen them to pick up a Terrorblade. Though that is something that OpTic really, really do like a lot to play around, and works really well with the Death Prophet, outside of those really big cooldowns. This Dazzle's actually making it look like the Terrorblade is definitely a possibility. Dark Willow and Visage are both really good up against TB, so you do have to worry about that from OpTic. But as of right now, OpTic just picking up that Dazzle. Really nice hero to have with the Sand King, is one of the few heroes from the 4 position, or in that offlane role, that will enable the Dazzle offensively, just being able to land some guaranteed physical damage with that wave. And they all count as separate instances as well, so if you're able to surround the Visage with something, couple heroes, couple units, land that heal bomb, then Gravekeeper's Cloak can only do so much. Is it worth it picking up a Dazzle just to save a Death Prophet? Sometimes. There is going to be a lot of damage coming in from Storm very, very quickly with the Dark Willow and with the Visage. And the armor from the Dazzle with the Weave is a really great tool at slowing down the Visage as far as his familiars are concerned. Really, armor is not something that his familiars want to run into. That's even with Visage having a Medallion or a Solar Crest, which I would not be surprised at all to see him go for. I forgot about this guy. My apologies to you, Disruptor. I have forgotten you out of the pool of 5-position heroes, and that's really shitty of me, honestly. Getting that control along with that Visage. VGJ.Storm are just overloaded right now in control. They are going to suffer from a lack of scalability with these 3 heroes. Visage isn't bad. Dark Willow can certainly get there, but definitely needs some good circumstances. And now they're going to go up against a Lifestealer, which is going to be an absolute pain and a half for Storm to deal with. Lifestealer is great with the Dazzle, great with the Sand King, getting that access route in. But again, you're looking at Storm, who are really overloaded in magic damage. And Familiars do damage to Lifestealer, I guess. But no one else really does. Of course, there's always a chance that you're going to land that Static Storm on a Lifestealer, and then you're able to kill him off before he's able to get that Rage off. But the times that those happen are very few compared to the times where you need to glimpse him back, and you just can't because he has Rage. They will go for the Enigma afterwards, though. Again, Storm are just overloading themselves with Teamfight, and this is something that the Dazzle's kind of okay with. if the Lifestealer is going to get picked off first thing up against this type of draft, then as OpTic, you just crumble. You can't do anything after that. But the Dazzle's express purpose is to make sure that that doesn't happen. Of course, interrupts for the Enigma aren't really super plentiful from OpTic, but you know, the Death Prophet Silence has a really long range. Sand King, Blink, Burrow Strike is going to mean that this Storm draft can't really function to its full effectiveness until the Enigma gets his BKB. At that point, at least with these heroes from OpTic, they will be just fine to take those black hole engagements. But Enigma, Visage, these are really powerful heroes for the first 30 minutes of the game. They will tend to fall off. Should be looking for your War's hero from the Storm side of things. I expect it's going to be Tomato Visage. Unless we have some weird Visage Dark Willow shuffling. Sneaking on the Enigma should be the hero player assignment there. OpTic definitely running with a little bit more of a conventional draft. They just have the very simple run at you with the Lifestealer. Once the Radiance comes up, the Visage is going to be really trouble to deal with that Lifestealer. So hard to deal with that Radiance. Your birds really suffer from it. Obviously, Dark Willow and Disruptor, these really soft heroes. Even Enigma, like, he's kind of bulkier, just a little bit more, but still, like, if he's got a Lifestealer on top of him, he's not going to last that long. You can Black Hole, and that will cut through the Rage, so they have a Rage TP counter, I guess. But OpTic, they're looking for their, well, they could be looking for their off lane. Could also be giving that Sand King over to Zai. Again, these early game flex picks from both these sides, really powerful. Especially at this point, Drow Ranger is going to give VGJ.Storm that scalability. And this is pretty much an NA special right here. I don't think I've seen any other regions heavily pick up Drow Ranger. Not to the same degree. Not to the same degree as NA. Like, definitely not. Drow Ranger is a hero that OpTic do have somewhat of an answer to. The Sand King and the Lifestealer, they both can get on top of the Drow Ranger and absolutely obliterate him. Now OpTic pick up a Bounty Hunter. As far as forward positions are concerned, perhaps not the best at getting on top of a Drow Ranger, but can definitely get the job done. So VGJ.Storm now will have Eidolons as well as Familiars with some serious right-click damage from the Drow Ranger. And that physical damage, man, I mean, they do have a Grave to work through. They do have that Weave to work through from the Dazzle. And Lifestealers typically are going to go for that Radiance into Medallion or Solar Crest build. So you get like that physical dodge plus just physical armor. So durability-wise, it's not like OpTic are going to be completely helpless here. But this Bounty Hunter is going to be a little bit hard-pressed to keep the team moving forward to a really high degree of momentum. The Bounty Hunter's strengths in this game is that he has a lot of heroes that he can mess with. Right? You can just get on top of a Dark Willow and just start poking her. Easy. Drow Ranger, same exact thing. Disruptor, same exact thing. As far as actually finishing off and killing off those heroes, well, Dazzle can land that Shadow Wave. That's, again, somewhat of a combo. But it's not really going to be a situation where Zai is going to be able to very easily set up a lot of kills. Because VGJ.Storm have just so many range heroes, their ability to kite is so high. So I do fear for Zai as far as his contributions to the team kill-wise early on. And of course, if you're not getting that as Bounty Hunter, you may be falling behind in the levels. But Storm, off of this Drow Ranger pick, now have an incredible amount of push. If you are able to get a half-decent time on the top lane. And yeah, he could probably expect there to be a Bounty Hunter in his lane from time to time, but other than that, the cores on OpTic aren't really well matched up against the Drow Ranger in a lane scenario. Now, Sand King with like another hero, Sand King Dazzle could do okay to mess with the Drow Ranger, but they can't really stop the Drow Ranger from farming. That doesn't really seem like it's really a feasible way to go right now for OpTic. As non-traditional as this draft is from VGJ.Storm, I gotta say, I like it quite a bit. This is kind of cool. Like, you really get to abuse this Precision Aura. Effects creeps for 30 seconds when cast. Dude, that can do some serious damage. And backing that up with all this team fight. Like getting the Black Hole, getting that Static Storm. Kind of having these like light team fight spells in the Bramble Maze and the Cursed Crown. But let's be honest. Dark Willow kind of does everything. Get Terrorize on top of that. As if you need more team fight power coming out of your supports. You have like one of the best team fighting supports in the Dark Willow. Alongside another one of the best team fighting supports on the Disruptor. Pycat is actually going to be going towards this top lane. Going to be hit with a little bit of thunder, but there's not much to fear. I don't know why this creep didn't get aggroed. That was really weird. Dude, this creep right here has a mission. Like, he wants to take that 1v4, and he's going to try his best. He's going to try his best. But Pycat being on this top lane is probably the best way to pressure the Drow Ranger. Again, with that Dazzle, if you do just charge at her, if you're able to get close enough with that Shadow Wave, and probably due to Zai's interference with his Orb of Venom, then you actually have yourself an opportunity. Speaking of SVG, taking that combo, it's not really like the nastiest combo in the game, but it actually is going to enable Shadow Wave to do a lot of damage, and onto a hero like Disruptor, who only has that 1 armor. He cannot escape from this Bounty Hunter thanks to that Oov, and that actually does quite a bit of damage, like 80 damage, 80 physical damage. That's actually quite a lot, and it's very hard, if not impossible, to dodge that damage as a Disruptor early on. So Zai's already able to make a little bit of an impact going towards top. Unfortunately, is just going to miss the courier making that mid lane delivery. But he's now going to go over towards this bottom lane. As long as these Eidolons are up, this Bounty Hunter may have some difficulty actually making a contribution here. But should they go down, should a Burrow Strike land, he can definitely put some serious damage onto these heroes. Again, these are not really the tankiest heroes in the game. Pycat, what are you doing, dude? Did he just... I actually didn't see what he picked up. I gotta assume he just picked up something, but he just ran into the secret shop, took like a million right clicks, and backed off. He's durable enough with the heal on the Dazzle to survive that. Really don't want to be doing that without some sort of plan in mind. That plan looks like will be coming in from Zai, although they do have a Sentry Ward. Zai is not invisible right now. Sentry v Sentry, looks like the Radiant side will clear these sentries out. They're going to get on top of SVG, and he is just going to fold. That Shadow Wave doing 160 physical, and Yawar can't do anything about that. In fact, he's now in a little bit of trouble as well. That Orb of Venom working overtime. Alright, well, Zai has just made me eat my words, because he is really putting the aggro onto that Drow Ranger. Again, usually the Drow Ranger, if you just charge at her, she will be able to just back off, and you can't really do much about that afterwards until you have a higher level of Open Wounds. Very surprised that Open Wounds is actually castable in this lane. Maybe 3, hit with the Cursed Crown. Not really much of a threat there. And also keep in mind that this is like the OpTic special, right? CCNC, he's going in that mid lane by himself, and he will most likely stay by himself. He's not dominating the lane or anything like that, but he's doing just fine. This is letting this Bounty Hunter just camp out this top lane, and Drow Ranger is really not that powerful as a laner. Again, her range is really what keeps her safe. And as long as they have sentries, they should be safe versus Zai, but they don't have sentries, so they're not safe versus Zai. Janata hit now up. They do gust them back. They will survive that attempt. I wonder if it's ever going to come to a point where they feel like they should bring in a Dark Willow. Dark Willow at this point is level 3. With boots, can put out a lot of damage. If nothing else, just having a Cursed Crown might just mean the difference between living and dying here. Still camping out this bottom lane. 33, though, getting a lot of experience. It's very important whenever you have an Enigma to make sure that he's able to get to his first couple items. Whoa, he's going to go for... I was going to say usually just go for a... well, whatchamacallit? Hand of Midas is a very early item. Now he's got no boots. Does gust back the Lifestealer, but he's going to slip out. SVG, he's going to be caught a little bit. There is no Shuriken, though. Zai's only level 2, it looks like, so he will teleport out there. In the meantime, 33, dodging MSS and sneaking. Burrow Strike down to the low ground, finds a regen rune. Wow, the luck from 33. Perfect time to get jacked up there. Does get a cancel, unfortunately, but is still going to get a little bit of juice off of that. And at this point, only 6 CS on Yawar. It's time for the Drow Ranger to reconsider what she wants to do. Again, this is the best way for OpTic to actually put real pressure on the Drow Ranger. But the lack of sentries is really hurting Storm there. Of course, at a certain point, you're just going to get tower dove, which is not fun. Drow Ranger is going to be maybe spotted here. It looks like PPD and Zai, they do see her with that Observer Ward. They want something a little bit bigger. This Visage is at, well, really low HP, so he's Siphoned now. And you can see, like, the game plan as soon as you get Siphoned is just Grave Chill and then run. But way too many heroes in the area. Alright, yeah, it looks like the Bounty Hunter is just killing everyone. Again, I am going to just go ahead and eat my freaking words.
Dire's top tower is under
Zai
attack.
is absolutely everywhere. Quick sentry check around the map. There's one sentry here on the Dire. That's not really an anti-bounty hunter ward. Zai is running around with absolute free reign. And now he's looking at sneaking. 33 does have a level 2 burrow strike, but sneaking has a couple of Eidolons. They are level 3 at this stage. They're doing a lot of damage, and Zai's actually going to take off. Dire's scan is out, looking for that bounty hunter. Won't find anything, but this Sand King at this point might be in a little bit of trouble. Does not expect there to be a disruptor here, but there is no glimpse. And this is, of course, leaving the Drow Ranger out to dry. She will just straight leave and join the fray on the bottom lane, where 33 still tracked up thanks to the Thunderstrike. So they see him, but they can't really get on top of him. Land that maze, land that Cursed Crown. So this Sand King is distracting a lot. That means CCNC is able to do this. Pop that Exorcism, go to town. Pycat is able to do this. This is a very weird skill build from a level 5 Lifestealer, but he's getting free farm on this top lane. They'll finally go for 33 with the Cursed Crown, pop him with the Shadow Realm, and with the Drow Ranger, should be able to take this tower down as well, but this is a big rotation for Storm. And they might lose Tomato off of it. Familiar stuns are offline right now. Zai knows it. Time to slow down this Visage. Grave Chill is out. They do get with the Poison Touch, but that's not quite going to do enough. CCNC is nowhere close by, and PPD is getting torn apart by these birds. One familiar drop, second familiar drop, not quite lethal damage. PPD's alive. The Enigma having gone for that Helm of the Dominator. Looking to really play this game super aggressively in the early stages. I mean, considering his start, sneaking is doing amazingly. Doing no small part thanks to the thanks to Dark Willow and his assistants. Her assistants? MSS's assistants. This Enigma is incredibly potent right now. The problem is that the Drow Ranger has gotten about 0 farm. And a Drow Ranger that's underfarmed is not a great place to be. If she's able to join in some of these team fights, it can definitely make something happen elsewhere. CCNC getting chilled up, and look at that damage from those familiars. Soul Assumption, is that enough? That's actually magic damage blocked by the rain drop. Double familiar drop on top of CCNC. Another shot from the Soul Assumption, not quite enough there. And now Tomato will back off. But we can see this Death Prophet really doesn't have many options at that point. She is, like, not super thin, but still, there's a lot of power here in this mid lane. Familiars, Eidolons, all with only a +7 boost. That's very, very low, honestly, for 8 minutes in the game. Usually expect that to at least be level 3, maybe even with level 6 Drow Ranger, but still they group up, take the tower, and it's pretty easy for them. What is this, 45 damage per Eidolon, with the Familiars getting that plus damage as well. That is significant, especially for towers. And towers, they can't really run away. The only real game plan, or really counterplay you have against that is, try to run away or try to race for damage. And at this point, you're still not working with Black Hole as the Enigma. You're still not working with Static Storm. There's a chance that OG actually, or OpTic, not OG, OpTic, will be able to just run right in because they don't have much team fight to fear on the other end. But now that there is a Black Hole, now that they are giving SVG this time in the mid lane to get that level 6, kind of challenging that damage output from Storm is going to be really, really challenging unless they get initiation off. And to that, we look towards 33. 1,300 gold towards his Blink Dagger. I mean, Zai can make these type of engagements happen. The Bramble Maze is going to slow him down just a touch. Gets put the crown on him. Not a crown you want to wear, unfortunately. What is Pycat working on right now? He's got level 7 with some of his skill points actually spent. Power treads into Radiance. Definitely need that durability in this game. You just don't want to die in the duration of a Bedlam or a Static Storm or something like that. So you definitely need that bulk. 2,000 gold towards that relic. What can Storm do while the Lifestealer, currently top on the net worth, isn't really doing all that much? There's definitely a big timing here, and that's kind of the downside of going for this build as Lifestealer. Such a powerful build once it's complete. Before that, though, when you're at this point, you're just a power tread hero. And that's really bad. And now he's going to get jumped on by a Black Hole. Usually you rage TP here, but they'll Black Hole, chain it with the Stomp and a Crown. I don't think that Crown even popped at the end. He's just dead. They kill off Pycat. SVG, gonna get jumped by Zai, immediate glimpse back, puts up a field. CCNC gets inside, lands a swarm from downtown. Gets the kill, and well, this tower's already banged up from that earlier exorcism. They'll take this tower down almost for sure, but this top lane is being pushed as well. Plus 23 as the Drow Ranger does have that marksmanship agility boost.
Dire's middle tower
And look
is
at that
under
tower fold, man.
attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Was that even Precision Aura? That might not have even been Precision Aura. I thought I saw 23 there. But it's also, like, already up again. Maybe he popped it a long time ago. Kind of the tail end of it. Level 7 on the Drow Ranger, 2 Wraith Bands. This is the super budget, I'm poor, I'm under pressure Drow Ranger build. But because they have all these summons, it's not quite as bad for the team because they get so much extra value out of this Precision Aura. Obviously, they would rather have a farm Drow Ranger, but, I mean, her farm amplifies the team's damage by so much more because of these Eidolons, because of these Familiars. Eidolon, yeah. It's okay, guys. I take pride in being the literal only caster to say that word correctly.
Dire's middle tower is under
And
attack.
I enjoy how much it triggers you. That's actually, like, really, really... That makes me happy. That, like, in my heart of hearts, that makes me very, very excited. PPD. He will clean out that poor Centaur, but the Familiar's starting to fly overhead. Gets the glimpse. Dazzle. He's crowned up. He's dead, man. That's just like 3 shots in total from all these heroes. Glimpse level 3 at this stage, and yeah, I'm not really sure why Dazzle is trying to challenge that.
Dire's bottom tower
Now the
is under
push
attack.
is coming in. There is still no Aquila on this Drow Ranger. Is there Aquila on anyone here? There is. There is on the Visage. So they have that aura. They also have that medallion, of course. And let's see. This tower will be fortified. But we got plus 26 from this precision aura, and this is like a double damage on these Familiars. That's pretty disgusting. From the back, it's Zai. He tripped the Sentry Ward, and he's going to get blown up, and CCNC's going to jump in. Here comes a really nice play from 33. The Epicenter Berserk onto everyone, but it's not going to quite land any killing blows. CCNC very low, though, with the Grave. Will stay alive for a little while longer. Tomato will race him and kill him off. At the cost of his own life, 33 salvages that fight. For OpTic, what a 4-man Epicenter. Now he's going to chase forward for sneaking. Can't quite get there. But Burrow Strike, Epicenter onto absolutely everyone. This is a 12-minute Blink Dagger on the Sand King. This is a lane setup where he was pressured, but for the past 3-4 minutes, the Sand King hasn't really done anything except for farm. He's just kind of been off map. That Blink Dagger was a definite surprise there from the Storm side, and they just got absolutely annihilated. That being said, though, they didn't just go quietly. They did take down CCNC at the end. They took down Zai. And they now have another black hole up. They were pushing without it. So that wasn't an ideal fight for Storm. That isn't going to be them stopping their game plans. Still they group up. Still they push. And still for OpTic, they are going to have to try to get some split push elsewhere. At least Pycat has that Relic Gold. But Relic Lifestealer is not really what they want right now. They need that full Radiance. Getting that Twinkle effect, whatever it's called. You know, you guys know what it's called. What is it called? Burn. It's just called Burn. It used to be like actual Twinkles in Dota 1. Getting that on all these units, giving them that blind and just doing more damage in general, and will force Storm into situations where they have to really commit hard into those fights. They can't just sit back and kind of chip out towers because they just don't have the time to do so. Between the Swarm and the burn damage. We'll smoke up with MSS leading the way. We're going to send some fools into the Shadow Realm. SVG also has that Static Storm. CCNC, no Yule Scepter on him. Has gone for the Medallion first, so getting a little bit of extra physical durability. They will smoke out, or dust out rather. And luckily, 33, he didn't see it. Bramble Maze is a little bit off. They still have that glimpse back. And he will Burrow Strike, dodge the glimpse, but the crown is still on his head. He will blink very far away. So those stunned won't really be in any danger. Although the Familiars are still going, man. Tomato's gonna chill a creep. He's still charging in. I have another Blink Dagger. He can Mango Burrow Strike. I don't think they have this. Yeah, not gonna happen. Smooth plays from that Sand King. Using that Burrow Strike to get rid of that glimpse effect. SVG is another one, though. He doesn't quite yet have enough vision, and he's going to get jacked up. Burrow Strike now aggressively used. Terrorize coming in. SVG is going to get quite a bit of help with the mechanism as well. They're going to glimpse back Zai, and this time there is no Epicenter interference. Sand King is, well, nowhere close. Doesn't have the mana. It's just a bounty hunter anyway. Storm gets... Why is there a melee creep here from this Helm of the Dominator? It's an interesting decision. They get a bounty hunter kill. Still does not have track. And Zai, despite his early game rotations, still not quite where you want to be. 15 minutes is about like the maximum where you're kind of happy as a bounty hunter to get track. He has it now. You can see what items he's ready to get, but you know, this bounty hunter is still very, very paper thin. They're going to Black Hole. There is a static storm in just a few seconds as well. Highcat, though, does have that Radiance. And he's ready to burn down some of these summons. And if not that, just sit in the fight and get them some mischance. 17%. 17% can definitely make a difference. Keep in mind, Storm with all these summons can get into that Roshan pit, clear it out. Just a matter of seconds. They are building up a lot of auras. These auras will make such a devastating timing push. You already have the mechanism, Helm of the Dominator for Enigma, so he's got that attack speed. Gonna go for Guardian Greaves. The Visage is gonna handle the magic damage. Try to soft counter that Sand King, get that pipe. I don't think Dark Willow... Yeah, Dark Willow is going for standard stuff. Disruptor is going for nothing because it's a poor Disruptor. And Drow's just gonna be going for just standard Drow stuff. Now that that track is up, VGJ.Storm will have to be very careful in how they engage these fights for two reasons. That track, of course, is going to be giving them full intel and extra gold. Combine that with the fact that Storm naturally have long cooldowns means that they can't afford to botch a single fight. They will start the fight, though, by jumping onto Zai with the Bedlam. He's going to get torn apart by GESC. And off in the front lines, Tomato's going to be driving away PPD. Great start so far from Storm. Don't use any significant tools. Go right back into the Roche pit. 33, though, is waiting. He's got Force Staff and the Blink Dagger. He's going to personal smoke. And it looks like it's time to go right now. It's too late, though. Oh, not quite with the read. OpTic now have to fall back. Even if they go in there, I'm not sure how well that works out. The Infest, the Radiance, the Burrow Strike. Oh, and they found someone. They glimpse back CCNC, still with no Yule Scepter. He's going to get some help as the Sand King Epicenter does come in with the Lifestealer. Onto the Visage. He does have that double life, though. Sneaking now with the Black Hole on the Static Storm onto the Lifestealer. No real damage going into him because he does have that Rage, but he's going to get terrorized shortly afterwards. And now the Focus Fire from the Gyro Ranger. Pycat's going to go down. Off in the back line, it's 33 with a Sandstorm. Will kill off one, but they are also killing off that Visage. CCNC gets in there with the Ghosts. Great plays from 33 consistently in this game. Shuriken bouncing through. Will not get the kill. Gyro Ranger will be fine as SVG puts up a field. Walls off Zai. Walls off CCNC. One more Shadow Realm. CCNC gotta be careful about that. But a 2-for-2 exchange ultimately. Storm, I guess, also lose that third in that Aegis. But as it stands right now for Storm, that is not quite what they were looking for. That Sand King play with that payload of Lifestealer, even though he did get Black Hold, so I don't think he actually hit anyone in that engagement. Still just being able to contribute some sort of damage into the fight with the Radiance. That's the big value in this game. And Storm are not happy about that. They lost the Aegis. They now have no Black Hole, and that was an even fight. Except for tracks, which I think maybe one track kill. This Sand King has been delivering. This is why OpTic first picked Sand King. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ban of the Sand King for Game 2. I feel like 33 is just a godly Sand King player, first of all, but his timings are just always on point. The fact they were able to save the Death Prophet from that Glimpse play also. She now has the Yule Scepter, so if she is going to get hit with that Glimpse, it's not a terribly huge deal for her. She'll have some personal counterplay. But Storm right now just have to wait and chill. Getting a BKB on the Enigma will ensure a full duration channel. There is Ghosts to kill off Enigma. There's a chance that happens. Not a very high chance. Tomato gonna get hit with that Epicenter over in mid. And it'll be a very easy kill for the OpTic side. Track was used there. That's even Visage with, I guess, only level 3 in that cloak, but he does have the hood as well. So magic damage should be pretty difficult to kill him off, but So many heroes makes it pretty easy, obviously. Now towards bottom lane. Radiance and the Swarm push. PPD is going to steal all that gold. Support tax. And still for Storm, no Visage, no Black Hole means no fighting. Gotta find something elsewhere, but Creep Wave, Equilibrium, not really working out great for Storm. So OpTic should have a free tower push on this bottom lane. Looks like they're going to go for a second. The Creep Wave doesn't last long at all. Like one Swarm, a couple of Radiance ticks, and it's all dead. And here comes Tomato. He's going to pop up his Familiars. 33 gets the hell out of there. You can see with that Gravekeeper's Cloak in the hood, just Burrow Strike did nothing. Actually nothing. Familiar's looking to intercept someone, but Pycat is free and clear. The rest of the team smoked up, still with no Black Hole, but looks like that's going to be fine. Tower damage, quite significant there. They're still hunting, though. They have a Glimpse to initiate. They have a Drown Ranger 4-staff, I guess. 33. He is going to get the Burrow Strike blink out. They do have the Bramble Maze down. They don't have any eyes on CCNC, though. No obs in the area. Now they do. Short glimpse back into a Static Storm. He still has that Yule Scepter. He will use it to dodge that entire Bedlam. Pycat getting right on top of Sneaking right now. No Black Hole options for this Enigma, and now it's hit with the Silence. Terrorize going to come in, but it's too late. The Enigma's already down. And now Storm have just got to back off. Full retreat mode is SVG. Earn ticking him down as they land another Burrow Strike onto 2. 33 once again delivers. Zai Shuriken Bounce will kill off SVG, and it's Yawar now trying to book it with the TP. Will escape. Just barely. Familiar's still overhead. Will give Tomato a little bit of intel here. Looks like he should be okay. But that was such great positioning from OpTic. Pycat, the only hero needed to get on top of that Enigma. And as Enigma, you don't really want to just solo Black Hole a Lifestealer. He couldn't even do so because he was silenced. And once that Enigma drops, once you use that Glimpse to take a Death Prophet like this much range, like that's not exactly how you want to use that. There's a little bit of a surprise there for Storm, the fact that everyone was there for OpTic.
With my thanks.
If they had that Observer up before that fight starts, I want to say like 90% of the time Storm win that fight. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. And OpTic should be able to put 2 and 2 together that there is an obs on this high ground now. Like, where else would it be for that Glimpse? They're not too worried, though. They're cashing in hard. This Lifestealer build farms really, really rapidly. Does have that Solar Crest as well as that Plate Mail. So he's got, what, plus 20? And probably a little bit less than that, since he's actually going to apply the Shine offensively. But if he doesn't, then, like, stuck in the Black Hole or something like that, has the Shine, has the Solar Crest armor on himself. The right click of Storm, though it is very substantial, is kind of going to be wasted up against the hero with such high armor. And of course, you got to remember that weave. At this point, PPD has that at level 2. If they weave up before that fight happens, Storm's damage output is going to plummet. They'll have to really heavily rely on Midnight Pulse and Black Hole, and Pulse is only level 2 at this stage. Storm will have quite a few more opportunities to land those big teamfight ultimates. But OpTic, they don't really have that same type of cooldown scenario. And yeah, sure, they have the Epicenter, they have the Exorcism. They don't absolutely need those in order to get what they need to get done. Like, the Death Prophet can still do okay in these fights. The Lifestealer has no long cooldown at all, really. Infest is pretty short, and even if he doesn't have it, not a big deal. Storm are definitely on the back foot here. 4K lead is all that's showing for OpTic, but definitely seems like with this draft, it feels like a little bit more. Storm need to stay on the offensive, and that's just so hard to do once you're just a little bit behind. Tower freely picked off here. CCNC still has those ghosts at the ready. Tomato is just camped out invis. Bottom lane is being pressured quite a bit. Maybe someone's gonna have to deal with this, but you got Zai on the move. Picked up a Crimson Guard. Wow. I'm talking about physical resistance for the Bounty Hunter. He's at a decent amount of armor. Plus you get more from having this guard up. Plus you get that damage block, which is, we'll just call that armor as well. It's essentially armor. That's what they need. I mean, the Drow Ranger, has been behind for like the entire game. Even if she was like number 2 in net worth, like that physical damage has so many answers at this stage from OpTic that This game is looking more and more like a black hole, please bail us out type of game. And Storm, of course, do have the amount of team fight necessary to come back from a 5k lead. Like, easily. They have the black hole. They have the Terrorize. They have the Disruptor ult. They have everything they could possibly want in order to make a comeback happen. They just need to make sure not to get picked off one at a time. Zai is staking him out right now. Laying down a couple tracks, asserting some map dominance. OpTic have another minute and 30 to wait. So they can go for that next Roche. Probably going to use the exorcism for that. And I believe that's Roche too. Get a cheese on top. Zai is going to walk under an Observer Sentry. They're going to dust him up. Eul Scepter, they got him with the crown. And they got him with the Eul Scepter. He's stuck in a Bramble Maze, and here comes the Bedlam. That's a dead Bounty Hunter. Dude, he has a wicked 6 spree. He's... What the hell? How is Dark Willow 7-0-3 in this game? How is that happening right now? I mean, that's great for MSS, but this hero is bound to die. Like, it's not really possible to stay alive this entire game as Dark Willow. Goes back on a 33. Looks like he's stuck in the Static Storm. No, Force Staff's out. Again, makes his escape. Bramble Maze still going to come up here and take a big hit from that Shadow Realm. Still has that Eul Scepter. He has Precious Cargo inside. Looks like they don't want to chase too far here. The Silence does land onto a bunch. They're going to turn around onto the Disruptor and take him down in an instant. Sneaking still has that Black Hole with the BKB. Is going to drop it only onto that one here in the Lifestealer, though. The Crimson Guard goes up. He's still at half HP. Bedlam is destroying people in the background, though. Podcat will go down to the Soul Assumption. Where was his rage? It's on cooldown. Now the Cursed Crown, Eul Scepter combo onto Zai once again. Off in the back line, it's the Death Prophet with the Siphons working away. Look at the healing. Down from 400 all the way back to 1,000, but still the sustained damage is enough. With that damage from the Drow Ranger, Zai now, the last hero alive, will go down. And Storm, as promised, do have enough tools in order to get back from that 4k lead, and it's gone right now. They are in the gold advantage, and they have the momentum advantage as well. That's 26 seconds where they can push. That's all they need to take down a tower, because they still have this disgusting Drow Ranger right click. Where is she? Can I click on her, please? There we go. Yeah, how much is it? It's plus 55 for her. Got all these heroes with it as well. It's not active right now, so the creeps don't get it. But still, that catch power of VGJ.Storm, just staying super persistent on that Sand King. The Black Hole kind of nullifying that rage. And then afterwards, like, that's even with Plate Mail, the armor from Solar Crest. He got the guard applied to him from the Crimson Guard as well. I thought that would be enough physical resist for him to be, like, almost unkillable, but apparently I drastically underestimated this Drow Ranger's damage output. They will get right back on the horse, though. CCNC did a hell of a lot of damage. The problem was that he came in just a little bit too late compared to when the team needed him. Random Wild Wing is going to show up. Get a good read on what's going on here. Cooldowns for Storm. They have the Dark Willow ults, and they will jump in onto the Disruptor. Static Storm is needed. He can't get it off. In the background, 33 will use himself, keep him safe as they're onto Tomato right now. Force Staff into the high ground. They still see him thanks to the track, but it's a long way to actually get him. As Zai is tracking up everyone, they want MSS with the Blink Dagger. Dark Willow is yet again going to keep that kill streak live, now up to 8 kills. And be just fine to back off. And for Storm, that's okay. Obviously, they lose the Disruptor, but they stop OpTic from going for Roche, giving him a little bit of extra time to regenerate. And OpTic can get right back into the Roche pit, but Storm will be right back in with pretty much everyone else if they decide to go for it. CCNC still does not have that exorcism, so this push into Roche is not that fast. Lifestealer with this build, I mean, this is not a Desolator SNY build. This is not a Roche killing build. Now the ghosts are out, though. Storm still no Black Hole. They do get the Terrorize, though, driving them out of the Roche pit, separating them from Zai. And that means this Bounty Hunter might be going down, although with the Grave, they'll keep him alive for a little while longer. The rest of the team, though, they're focusing onto this Roche. 33 is going to jump right in with Sneaking. He's got the BKB up. He's going to walk right into the Roche pit, just stop them from doing anything. They've taken out the Sand King already, and now CCNC, he has no Grave, and he's just going to get obliterated off in the back line. It's Podcat trying to go after you are. Force Staff's already used, and this Drow Ranger's in a lot of trouble, but this Sneaking Enigma has another Black Hole if they need it. And it looks like they might not even need it. Podcat is stuck in the field, and he has nowhere to go. He's going to go down, giving a double kill to Tomato. Zai's able to slip out. PPD, the Dazzle, somehow, again, is able to live. he's only died once. That's very impressive. Oh, never mind. They found Zai. They found Zai. And Storm, they are able to grab that Roshan. That's Aegis for Tomato. Cheese is on someone, maybe, perhaps. I'm sure it's around here somewhere.
Barracks are under attack.
But the black hole was not using that engagement. OpTic were just scrambling for answers, but once they lose their Sand King, they lose their initiation. Which means that Storm can literally just calmly walk in and do whatever the hell they want in that fight. And we saw exactly that. Pycat, even though he's on top of the Drow Ranger, just doesn't do quite enough damage, and that's going to be a quick 2 racks for Storm. And even a tier 2 tower on top lane. Looks like that might be going down as well. So, yeah, do you know that 5k lead that they had? You know that 5k lead that OpTic once had? Yeah, it's not there anymore, man. It is not there anymore. They still have the ability to take these fights, but it's so much more difficult now that Storm only have one more objective in the game. Third familiar online as the Aghanim Scepter is up. 33 is going to jump right in. Watching the BKB is snaking, but now he's kind of overcommitted. Dual Scepter will keep him safe for a little bit. He has the Force Staff down to the low ground. He will dodge the Bedlam with that and get out to safety, it looks like. The Glimpse back is onto him, though, and 33 will go down, and also the Black Hole in the Pycat will be interrupted by the Shuriken bounce, it looks like. Pycat's still free to go wherever he wants, but he's going on to Tomato, the Aegis carrier. Not what he wants. Now hit with the Terrorize. Grave is going to keep him alive, but the crown is still on him. He's stunned for what seems like an eternity and will go down. CCNC is making a full retreat. Familiars, though, pushing the front lines. They get the vision for the glimpse. The GG's already called. CCNC. Final casualty, perhaps, but Storm coming back from just a little bit of deficit there. All it takes is a couple of good team fights. That's all it takes. And sometimes, man, sometimes as VGJ.Storm, when you have just overwhelming teamfight and overwhelming physical damage, the burden really isn't on you to, like, go in. It's really on to OpTic to make sure your teamfight doesn't happen. And again, you're looking at Death Prophet, Sand King as the only 2 heroes who can actually, like, stop VGJ.Storm from getting into position. And 33 tried in that Roche pit fight. He definitely tried to stop that from happening. The problem was that OpTic were kind of split on should we fight or should we go Roche? Like, half the team was going for Roche, and 33 was fighting. Not good. You need to all be on the same wavelength, and that's really what cost them that fight, and that's kind of just what led to this very quick end to this game. And OpTic definitely showing off that they could do quite a bit, so this wasn't a steamroll by any means. But this is VGJ.Storm coming back from a deficit and executing at a pretty darn high level. This is just game 1, though, and this is the winner's bracket as well, so losing here means that tomorrow is going to be really rough, but, you know, it's not over yet. Guys, game 2 between Storm and OpTic coming soon. I'm Mike Loris, and I'll be right back.